running around in this game like a gazelle on speed or something like that. And I love his work in this goal. Lack of communication, just lack of someone taking charge. Right, hello everybody, welcome back to the Golden Sky. I'm Tom, and today it is the tactical analysis for Liverpool's 2-1 Derby Day victory over Everton. Let's not waste any time getting into this one. Let's go and look at the clips from the game to start today's video off. Alright then guys, plenty to get into from this game. Let's start off in the first half, of course, when we were under a little bit of pressure early on from the Ev, who started nice and aggressive, as I thought that they would do in this one. So we're going to look at how Liverpool coped with that, or how our goalkeeper helped us stay in the game. You see, early on, Liverpool with the ball here, Everton pressing, really aggressive, Beto making challenges. Beto, by the way, running around in this game like a gazelle on speed or something like that. I'm telling you, this guy was on smoke in the first half, and up until he scored, he was on smoke. I've never seen him play like that in my life against anyone else other than Liverpool, but there we have it. Wins this ball off Gakpo, and immediately Everton can go on the counter. So nicks the ball, see Liverpool a little bit exposed. We've got the front two of Isak and Salah, and then Gakpo obviously just lost the ball. And Everton are able to get right at our defence as we're a little bit out of position. So Beto plays this ball wide to Iliman and Jai. And he goes wide with the ball. And we recover pretty well. Salah gets back well. Salah works really, really hard in this game. Really good performance from him. And it's great to see him hit a bit of form as his storied Liverpool career does come to an end over the next couple of games. So good to see him playing well at the minute. And what I want you to look at here is this battle in the middle. I'm going to point this out. Konate and Beto, the gazelle on speed. So, I mean, where Konate is right now is not a bad position at all. He is right next to Beto. Van Dijk is also watching. There's not really a lot of danger. There's nowhere else, I think, personally, that he should be in this situation. Liverpool generally are set up pretty well. And as Iliman comes inside to cross this ball in, it gets blocked by Liverpool over on the right-hand side, but the battle is going on in the middle. And again, just keep your eye on this. So Beto and Konate are now wrestling. Konate has got him. Beto's got his arm around him. He's trying to get past him on the blind side to find this cross and head it on goal. This one gets blocked. Konate's position was fine. But as this ball goes out to Garner, I can't quite understand why, but Konate just steps backwards towards Van Dijk. You can see now how close he is to Van Dijk. They're basically on top of one another, and Beto is able to break away from those two. So if we just go back to the earlier cross, you can see there's a little bit of distance between the two centre-backs, which is what you want. Obviously, you don't want to be on top of one another. And then even when this first cross is coming in, they're in a much better position. Konate's in front of Beto, not going to let him get a run on him. They're wrestling. But when they come to here, he just loses him. You see he's reaching his arm out, trying to grab hold of him so he can stop him from making that movement, but he can't. The cross comes in, and he's too late, and Beto gets up to it early. And this is a brilliant header from Beto, but an even better save from Mamardashvili, who gets down brilliantly to make this save. Really quick reflex reaction from him, and he's played well over the last few weeks as well, which is promising for Liverpool fans with Alisson, obviously. Not going to be able to play forever. It's good to see Mamardashvili looking like he can step up with Alisson out injured. So good save there from the goalie, the holy goalie. And this continued more into the game. Everton really putting us under pressure, and Liverpool just couldn't, as normal this season, get the balance right with where they put the defensive line and how they're pressing. They've not really meshed together well much this season, only really in moments. There's a moment later in this game where they do mesh well. They didn't mesh well here, and what I mean by that is our defence is quite high, but it's nowhere near organised enough. Forget that for a second. We'll talk about that in a second. Quite high. We're pushing up towards the halfway line, not quite as high as some teams. You see them right on the halfway line, like City and Barcelona. Not us here. We're dropping off. We feel we've got the pace to deal with Everton in behind, Konate and Van Dijk, and we're not really all that worried about Everton's pace. But then we don't press well enough, and we just let Branthwaite stride out of defence with this ball. Wirtz is sort of lost track of where Branthwaite wants to go. He covered this pass initially because Isak isn't, quite up on Garner. The midfield is doing an okay job. I think Szoboszlai and Gravenberch are in decent positions, and then Salah's in the right spot as well. But now we'll talk about the defensive actual setup. And you see this diagonal line of Liverpool players. Robbo is just behind off screen there as well, playing Beto even further onside. You know, that is not the sign of an organised defensive unit, is it? I mean, it's so lopsided. It's asking for problems, and they take advantage again. Branthwaite, one ball over the top, very, very simple. And all of a sudden, Beto is through on goal. And if he wasn't such a gazelle and actually resembled a footballer, this one might go into that far corner Henry style. But it doesn't. He manages to hit this one out for a throw-in instead. So that was lucky. And you see again, from the other angle, no pressure on the ball on a high line. That's only going to ever lead to problems for you as a team. That's something we should all know. Branthwaite can just knock this one over, and Robbo's playing him well onside. So is Van Dijk. He's miles on, from no debate about that at all. No pressure on the ball. It's easy for Everton to unlock us this way. We get lucky that Beto is shite and didn't do so. Then we did start to grow into the game a little bit. You see we get Wirtz on the ball, and I wanted to just put this in to see. It was nice to see Wirtz in the middle with actual players to hit. So he's got lads in front of him. He's got a striker in front of him, Isak, although he never touched the ball again in this game. Gakpo and Salah obviously wider, and then Wirtz in that middle, although Wirtz himself wasn't great in this game. This is a nice ball. He's going to play this ball into Cody Gakpo, who makes a decent run and was actually quite decent in the first half. Gakpo receives the ball. On another day, this is one here where we score, Gakpo maybe fires it in this near post quickly, or maybe as Pickford moves across, he finds this far corner, maybe he lashes it up high or something. Who knows, maybe on his left foot he can fire it in at this top corner. Something like that. But instead, he goes to the weakest shot you've ever seen in your life and straight at Pickford. And he's easily saving it, even with arms the same size as an actual Tyrannosaurus Rex. He still manages to save it. But the point is, we did start to grow into the game after a little while. Everton had us on the ropes early on, and then they obviously scored the offside goal, which I don't think I've actually put in here because it was offside. But, we were struggling a little, and then we started to grow into it. And after the offside goal came our goal. And let's just move this one down here. And this is our goal. So it wasn't long after they scored what they thought was the opener. Turned out to be offside. Liverpool finally get their press right. We've not done this much all season long, but we force Everton into a mistake. It's Dwight McNeil who makes this mistake. Liverpool have pressed well. And what have we done? We've gone pretty much man-to-man. We've gone really aggressive. Van Dijk on McNeil. Robbo on the fullback, pushing up high. Gravenberch on Idrissa Gueye. Nobody in the middle can receive the ball. Gakpo's up on the centre-back, Isak on the goalie and the other centre-back, and then Salah out wide. Everybody's matched up. This is what we like to see. Aggressive play from Liverpool. Brave play away from home. This is what we like. And it forces Everton into a mistake. The ball, as we know, comes to Cody Gakpo. And again, amazingly, we burst into life. We make the most of a transition. This is music to my ears. I'm really telling you it is, because we've been so wasteful so many times, not ruthless enough, not killing teams off when they make a mistake. And Gakpo gets this ball, and to be fair to Gakpo, this is a brilliant pass, and he could panic. He could panic and play this one straight to Isak, who definitely has a chance, but the centre backs are converging so quickly in. By the time this ball's got to him and he's turned and he's started to run at the goal, there's a good chance the centre-backs have closed off this space and he doesn't have all that much time to get out his feet for the shot. But instead, Gakpo runs forward with the ball. And as you can see, the centre-backs have now closed that space on Isak. But he draws them towards him, and the left-back is beat Mykolenko. Isak's drawn the players towards him just by being in the right position to receive it. And Gakpo plays this ball beautifully into Salah's path, who makes a great run. Killing teams via transition. This is not a hallmark of our season so far, but it was in this game. And Salah takes it, one touch, clinical finish into the far corner, round little arms in the goal, and it was 1-0. And that was a beautiful moment. It only got better from there on in this game, but a beautiful moment. Mo Salah scores the goal to put us ahead in the derby, his last derby day goal. Very, very fitting. Let's move on. Another angle of it, I just wanted to show the goal again, how we've set up pressing wise. It's very interesting to see us actually do this. You see, as the midfielder receives the ball, Gravenberch is really aggressive, already jumping onto him. Isak's splitting the two centre backs so they can't really receive the ball back. Wirtz is pushed up on Garner. Gakpo pushed up on Tarkowski as well. making it even harder to play out. And even Salah is pressing up too. So you actually look at this picture, and you've got a 5v4. I mean, if you want to include the goalkeeper, you've gone 5 for 5. We've really matched Everton at the back. And I like to see that, a bit more aggressiveness from us. And as this ball comes over to O'Brien, Robbo has also joined in. He's pushed forward onto him to try and, force him into make a mistake. And we pretty much do. Gravenberch, again, stays high, doesn't drop off, doesn't go back into this number 6 position, as we've seen a lot, where they've sort of left big spaces in the middle. I think we had a bit more dynamism in our midfield in this game with Gravenberch and Szoboszlai, without McAllister running around at the speed of 0.01 miles an hour. When O'Brien hits this ball forward, Van Dijk is there, like we've already pointed out. He's up on McNeil, and then McNeil makes the mistake to give it to Gakpo. So, let's go into the second half then. The game really did burst into life in the second half. It became much more end-to-end, and there was a lot going on. So, let's take a look. This is Everton's goal, and it is the softest goal you'll ever see in your life. It's so poor from Liverpool. Let's analyse it. So, Mykolenko gets this ball. No danger. He's just got it at left back. There's no problem whatsoever. Jones has pushed out. A little bit out of position there as a right back. He's pushing forward, but not disastrous. Salah's sort of tucked inside a little bit, and we've got almost a 4-4-2 going on defensively like this. And then Jones obviously pushed out. That's sort of the setup we've used a lot this season. It's not an uncommon one for teams to use. But this ball is just going to be hopefully lofted into the channel. This is like Christian Fuchs to Jamie Vardy in Leicester's title-winning season. This is like Danny Drinkwater to Jamie Vardy. Just knocking it into the channels. It's an effective style of football, but Liverpool should defend it much easier than what we do. So Mykolenko lofts it over the top. Konate turns and starts to run towards the ball. He's got Dewsbury Hall running alongside him onto it. And Konate's got the beating of Dewsbury Hall for both pace and strength. And he's got a head start. So there's no reason ever that he should lose this ball and miss out on clearing it. But he does. And we'll have a look why in a second. Really poor. Dewsbury Hall can take it on his chest and get it out of his feet. This should never be allowed to happen. It can't happen from a ball over the top. And I want you to look here in the middle. Beto and Robbo. You see the Gazelle. He's got his big strides already going. He's sprinting ready. He's sniffed out the chance. Robbo a little bit ball watching here, just a little. Doesn't react quite fast enough to Beto's run, and when he does, he's not quite got the legs anymore to get goal side of Beto, get along in front of him, stop the ball coming across. You see, as this ball comes across, Beto gets there first. Obviously, Robbo, like I said, snoozing a little bit. Beto can knock it into the net, and in the process, just rip Mamardashvili's thigh off, apparently, or whatever the hell he's cut. He's also injured. Hopefully, should be back for the game. The coming games. Hopefully, not heard much about that, to be honest, as of right now. Maybe you guys know better. Let's move on. This is the other angle of the goal, and this is why I think Konate doesn't get this ball. So if you just look, the ball's here. It's a little hard to see. It's in flight at the minute, this pixel. I'll just keep it circled. And then it's coming over. And Konate is looking right now. He's looking at what's happening to his right. So he's got Dewsbury Hall right next to him. And then he's got McNeil in his sights as well. And he's looking, all right, I need to get ahead of them. And he also sees Van Dijk coming over. And I think when he gets to this position, this one here, he's thinking, okay, Virgil van Dijk is going to come across here and he's going to knock this ball as it bounces out of play. Because you watch him, if I could play the video of this, he slows up and he ends up so far behind Van Dijk and McNeil, who also runs across Konate to cleverly block him. It's like he stops, but Van Dijk also stops. He doesn't come across and clear it. Lack of communication, just lack of someone taking charge. And Dewsbury Hall is afforded way too much time. He should never be allowed to pull this one down. And you see in the middle again, Beto and Robbo. Robbo's got 3 or 4 yards on him there to get back into the middle and try and stop it, but he just doesn't. And then as Dewsbury Hall is now making the cross, they're level, but Beto has the run on him and can knock it into the net. Right. More then from us as we tried to get back into the game. We actually started to play some pretty nice stuff after that point. At some points in this game, we actually made some nice moves, and this is one of them. Salah with the ball wide. You see Wirtz, he's going to make a really clever movement here. So joining the attack, I think we had a nice balance in this game as well. I did actually like the balance that we played with. I like the midfield 3 of Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, Wirtz. Like that we had a front 3 of a left winger, right winger, striker. I mean, Isak maybe didn't play so well. Gakpo was okay first half, not so great second. But I like the fact that we actually have players in the right positions. I think that helped, and Wirtz makes a good run here. He's running towards the goal, and Branthwaite obviously naturally wants to go with him, so then this ball can't come in behind. But as soon as Branthwaite goes back a little bit, Wirtz just checks his run, and you see he's immediately checked his body weight on to the opposite way now. And as soon as he does that, Salah recognises it, bounces in the ball. Wirtz can play it back. Salah's on his bike. Salah gets in behind. Nice little 1-2 from those two who do have a pretty good connection. We saw this against PSG in the second leg as well. They were linking up pretty well. Salah on his right foot puts a lovely ball into the box where Gakpo is coasting in at the back post. You see that the presence of having a striker in the right area, even though Isak doesn't touch the ball. So many times we've crossed the ball in this season and not had anyone in the middle, and it's led to teams easily being able to mark us or clear the ball or anything like that. Gakpo coming in at the back post. Now, when he heads this ball, he's trying to score. He's trying to head it to the back post to try and knock it in the net. If he just had a little moment, just think about what he's doing, he could just head this one to Isak, who can then knock it in the net. And I think that's a certain goal, but he doesn't. It's hard to criticise because it all happens very quickly, but yeah, that one would have probably led to a certain goal. But nice move from us in this game. And then we see again, winning the ball back off Everton, high up the pitch, a nice press. You see Dewsbury Hall's kicking off now. He doesn't know what's going on. We managed to win the ball. Tarkowski's out of position. This is what happens when you press high. You're more aggressive, which we were in this game. Whether that's because it was a derby and our lads were up for it more, or whatever it was. For some reason, we just played with more aggression and more attentiveness to the situation in this game. Gravenberch gets the ball. But again, this is where we're talking about transition opportunities were a little bit wasteful. Gravenberch does really well at first, drives forward, drives to the edge of the box, gets ahead of Tarkowski, who can't tackle him, and he's got the pass here. This pass has to come to Isak, who again is in the right position. And this is why I'm wary of criticising Isak too much. Like, he's in the right position here. Gravenberch has to find this pass into his path, and he can just run onto it and score. But he overhits it, and Mikalenko's able to then get in, and it falls to him, and he can sort of hook it away, and Isak can't get onto it in that space, where he can then score the goal. But again, positive from us, and it only continued. This time, Everton kicking the ball long. We retain it with the header and the nice pass on the bounce by Gravenberch into the middle. A brave forward pass. We didn't see this a lot throughout the course of this season. Gravenberch plays the ball forward into Wirtz. All of a sudden, we have space so we can move through the gears and make a nice attack. Wirtz able to spread this ball out wide. It comes to Robbo. Now we have players moving forward. We've got wingers holding width. We've got players in the middle occupying midfielders. We've got a nice balance to the team. Two midfielders sitting, helping out the defence. I think we really did a good job. It wasn't perfect, but better than it has been. And Robbo carries the ball forwards. Now, at this point, he shouldn't be shooting from here. He's Andy Robbo. He should never be shooting from here, but he is leaving in a couple of games, so I'll let him off for a few little things now and then. But Gakpo, for me, should be busting a gut to get past Robbo here. Get into this space, Robbo can then slot him in. Or maybe Robbo can pump this one into Wirtz, and then Wirtz can maybe move it on to Isak, and then maybe to Salah, or have a shot himself, something like that. The answer is never for Robbo to have a shot from 30 yards out. I'm sorry, that can never be a solution, but that's what happens. Again, though, let's continue. More good stuff from Liverpool. Making chances, causing problems. Jones this time, he played really well. I think second half in this game especially. On the ball, brings it down, calm on the ball. You know, just takes it inside, has a little dribble, turns around, finds Ryan Gravenberch. We're right towards the end of the game now, so things were really getting tense. We were trying to push for that final goal that I did feel like either side was going to get. Jones plays this one into Gravenberch. And look at the fluidity of this move. First time the ball goes forward into Salah. It's quick, it's snappy, it's intense. It's actually got a bit of quality about it. Salah takes the touch, you know, wants to turn and run at the defence. We recognise the urgency of the situation. A little 1-2 of Szoboszlai. We've got Michael Keane trying to make a tackle. He's too late. Szoboszlai can knock it back to Salah. Salah can take it forward. Now we've got players running forward. We've got numbers. We've got Frimpong out wide, holding width from right wing. Salah was up front at this point. We've got Rio on the left. He's holding width. We've got Szoboszlai making that run from the attacking position from the middle. We've got lots of options, and Salah eventually does go back to Gravenberch, who joined the attack. Gravenberch places one out wide. Kirkes has joined up now. He's narrow, holding, coming forward to join in. Rio holding the width. Gravenberch plays it. Kirkes lets it run through his legs. Look how fluid and like connected we are as a team here. This is very unusual for us. Kirkes lets it run. It comes onto Rio, and this is a great chance. This was about 2 minutes before we actually did score, and this felt like the chance that we were begging for. Oni comes onto the pitch. We all wanted it. And when he hits it, he just leans back. He just does a Fat Joe and leans back, and the ball goes over the bar. But on another day, you know, he can curl this one into the far corner like he did against Newcastle. A nice move, though. That's the point of me showing you this. It was actually nice play from us, and that's very, very refreshing from what we've seen so far this season. But then the goal did come at the end. It did come, and it came from a corner that we won from this move. So this is about 2 seconds later. Again, it starts with Jones at the back, picking the ball up, and I love his work in this goal. I really, really do love it. I don't think I noticed it at the time watching it, but on the rewatch, I really did notice it. He gets the ball. There's nothing on really initially for him, but he's so brave on the ball that he starts to dribble, and that's something that we really haven't done a lot of from these defensive positions this season. He's actually dribbled the football. I've seen Cara giving Bernardo Silva and Rodri a lot of praise on Sky, saying how brave they were taking the ball and carrying it, and Jones does it here. Carries it all the way out of defence into the middle, finds Szoboszlai, but his role's not done yet. He carries on past Szoboszlai, who gives him the ball back, and now he's on you know, a more advanced position in the middle. He's carried it all the way out of defence, broke through a couple of lines of press, and now he can move forward. Brings the ball on. It ends up with Rio. We get it out wide. He's one-on-one. He wants to, you know what he wants to do? Drive at his full-back, push the defence back. I said I love this about Rio. Even if he doesn't go around his defender, he's going to force the opposition to run backwards because he always runs directly at his defender. So it forces Everton back into their own 6-yard box, you know, on the penalty spot. And that opens things up on the edge of the box. This is what happens. It goes to Szoboszlai. Can knock this one to McAllister. They've got Dewsbury Hall doing shuttle runs between the two, so he can't keep up. McAllister just knocks it straight back. And all of a sudden, there's this space for Szoboszlai to have a shot, which leads to the corner, which led to the goal. And it's a really nice move from us again. Obviously, we score the set piece. That is the real... I don't know how to say the right words, summarize it, but that's been the real talking point of this season, set pieces for all teams in the Premier League, and we profit here, and it led to these pictures. Here's the scenes in the away end at the Hill Dicky, the absolute fellas giving it large, as they should. A very rare moment of happiness for us this season, a moment to just enjoy and savour, and this, the reaction from the Blues. Doesn't get much better than that, folks. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's video. I really do hope that you did enjoy it, and if you did, please do leave a like on the video. We are trying to get to 35 likes, so if you did enjoy, please do click that like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Help me get to 500 subscribers, that would be amazing. Podcast listeners, 5-star rating and reviews, you guys know what to do on whatever platform you choose to listen on. I will be back for a preview on the weekend, on Friday, of course. Until then, everyone, I hope you had a good week. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you on Friday. Goodbye.